There's no way that myself or even my team could listen to all these songs every week. It's just humanly impossible. So we have to decipher which ones we're going to give our time to. This is why I also tell artists, don't make like a song where you're dragging out the intro, or it's a 30-second intro, or there's a bunch of talking, or there's a clip. No, go right into the song, because people have short attention spans. Yeah. And most curators, right, we're going to listen to the first 30 to 45 seconds of a song.
That's generous.
If you're lucky, right?
That's generous.
We do live streams. We listen to a minute 45, and even then, some people are like, "You didn't get to the good part."
Let him keep going. Let him keep going. You were cooking.
Right? I mean, you didn't get to the good part. We have short attention spans, and they're getting shorter as time goes on.
Every day.
They ain't getting any longer.
Right? It's not getting any longer,
bro.
So that's why the songs are shorter. And I tell artists all the time, get right into the song, get into the meal.
So many artists are gonna hate you when you say that, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming you get some feedback that's like,
"This is my art. It takes 2 minutes to build up to the climax."
I mean, that's cool. Like, if that's what you want to do, I'm just gonna let you know what's happening with your audience and stuff, and with what people are listening for. Now, you might have people that will hang in there or wait for the minute 45, but most people, especially when it comes to new music, and they don't know who you are, they're not sticking around. I always think like a listener or a consumer, and most people are passive listeners. They're on their way to work. They're
doing something else.
They're doing something else. They got their kids in the car. So they're not sitting there by the radio like our grandparents did, listening,
playing a record, smoking a doobie, just paying attention.
Right. Like, we're doing other stuff. We're multitasking. People are on their phones. So you have to make your song or your music stand out, because if it doesn't, I'm either going to skip it or I'm changing the channel.
And this is the biggest challenge in the world that we talk to artists about, is that, like, you want to make art for a living, but are you willing to change your art to make a living?
Yeah.
Because, like,
have you said that before?
Not like that.
That was a bar.
It's kind of a bar, right? Like,
that's a caption right
there.
That
was.
You can be the dopest hobbyist in the world, but the second that you don't want to have a job and you want to collect and you want to do this for real and make a living and go on tour and do all these other things, are you willing to compromise and change your art to do that? It's a big internal decision that I think people aren't ready for, man.
Yeah. So if I'm a up and coming artist, how do I even find my way onto the platform or the radio in the first place?
No, it's a great question. So I tell all artists who ask that question, it's usually when I'm at a conference or in a room full of artists, I say, look around. There's 100 people in here. All of you guys are artists, right? Multiply that by 5,000. Ain't no way I can listen to all of your songs. Yeah. So you have to do everything in your power to make your song stand out and rise above the crop, right? The thing that I look at, and I guarantee most other curators look at, regardless of the streaming platform that they work for, is the on-demand streams. If you're able to get some sort of traction on my platform without any editorial support, it's definitely going to raise its hand. It's definitely going to set off a flag, and I'm going to look at it.
Meaning you have real fans that sought your music out and clicked, I want to listen to XYZ artist.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's an indicator no matter where you go. And like you said, the fans are showing that there's a demand for it. So if I put it on a playlist and giving it more exposure, I already know that there's a fan base for it, and it's testing well.
It already converted.
It already converted, right? So I tell artists all the time, there's so many tools and resources out there to build up your audience, to build the algorithm, whether you're using the streaming tool, the streaming platforms tools. Ours are called AMP, which stands for Artist Marketing Platform. It's completely free. You can look at your analytics, obviously, but you can also feature a track. So if you have one track that you want to say, oh, this is the one I'm going to push, then you can basically feature that track for free, and it pushes it out to more people without any editorial support. And that's something that artists can do on their own. They don't need my permission or anything like that. And it just helps build your audience organically because it's pushing it out to listeners that like your similar style of music. The other thing, obviously, going on Facebook, doing lookalike campaigns, people say ads on TikTok, you can go that route, but doing some sort of influencer campaigns, the blogs, simple stuff, having an email list, having a website, building up your audience that way. I mean, 100 people who are willing to pay to see your show is better than 100,000 Instagram followers that might not spend $5 with you.
Yeah. So
That was a bar.